runs crossing the plate have been few and far between, and the home run envelope hasn't been opened in some time. All that being said, the Phillies have continued to lead the division from the hands on the mound. From start to close, the Phillies staff has stood tall and turned a little offense into a lot of success. The second largest crowd in Citizens Bank history last night was treated to a fantastic pitching performance. We'll see if it continues tonight in Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Phillies and the Dodgers. As play begins tonight, the Phillies 4 games up in the National League East over the Florida Marlins and the Atlanta Braves. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. Wheels will be around in just a little bit. Sarge, we've talked so often this year about the Phillies pitching staff, not only the starters, but also the relievers. And both starters the last couple of nights have really stepped up big. Yeah,
you're right about that. It actually starts on the mound there if you're going to be successful. Not only that, you need a pitcher when things are going bad. You have a losing streak. He can dominate and come and make a performance like you need to as you see the balls that he throws. And legit number one, we've seen him so many times before. Very next night, hey, another number one, Cliff Lee, as he brought out that curveball. A couple of different curveballs as he threw one down in the dirt, and then he was throwing some up a little bit. Now you need a closer. Matson has done the job. He's been waiting in the wings for it. Now look at him doing a good job with that cutter up and in there. You can see him pointing there at Chu's. Job well done. Take a look here at the numbers. You can see exactly why they're in first place. Strikeouts and walks. They have the fewest walks there, Tom. That enables them to be in first place the way they are.
You know, Sarge, 3.17 combined earned run average. The starters have been really good, and they've been complemented by the bullpen. Not only Matson, but everybody else who leads to Ryan Matson. We'll see if the fun continues tonight against the Dodgers. Roy Oswalt on the mound for the Phillies. He'll be opposed by rookie Ruby De La Rosa, who's making his first major league start for the Dodgers. Speaking of Roy Oswalt, dominant last year against the Dodgers in a Phillies uniform. He's been dominant throughout his career. 5-0 in his last 6 starts against L.A. The lineups and first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. By Toyota. Toyota offers fuel efficiency you'll love. Only better. By Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Independence Blue Cross. No matter where you are in life or business, we have plans that fit. Go to plansthatfit.com. It's going to continue again tonight for the second of this 3-game series between the Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Let's take a look at the Dodgers lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop is D. Gordon. Casey Blake, the third baseman, bats second. Andre Ethier hits third, followed by Matt Kemp and Juan Uribe. James Loney's over at first base. He'll bat sixth. Deanna Navarro, the catcher, hits seventh. Jerry Sands bats eighth, and Ruby De La Rosa will bat ninth. And he'll face right-hander Roy Oswalt. And Oswalt has not won in nearly 7 weeks. And he'll look for a victory tonight against the Dodgers.
And he's pitched well, too, in a bunch of games, but no decisions, loss. Last time out, only 5 innings, because they had a hit for him in Washington. Here are his overall numbers, and nothing wrong with that. I think he should win some games.
During his last 23 innings, which is the amount of time since he came off the disabled list, Oswalt's allowed 5 earned runs in those 23 innings. As former Phil Tom Gordon watches his son, D. Gordon, in his first major league at bat.
Well, I'll never forget his first major league at bat because it's against a heck of a pitcher, Roy Oswalt. Flash said he was not going to sit downstairs that long because he's nervous. A nice chat with him before the game.
Rest of his family alongside. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Opposite way, a foul ball. I said to Flash before the game, I said, boy, he's fast. I said, he's way faster than I anticipated. And he said, yeah, guys were making fun of me saying, how come you weren't that fast? They said, and I said, how do you know I wasn't that fast?
That's right. I was a pitcher.
He serves one into left, and there's his first major league hit. So he's aboard to start the ball game.
Well, that's pretty exciting for that group right there. And he threw him a slow breaking ball for some reason because he was hitting the fastball over his own dugout, basically. But there's a first hit for him. That's pretty exciting to see a kid that we used to see work out here. But you kind of wonder why they would throw him something slow when he was struggling with a fastball. But Flash is happy about it, and leave him over there at first base. And Tom Gordon, one of the best guys in the world, so you're happy for Flash.
Well, now you got to watch out, although maybe you don't, because Wilson Valdez is going to take care of not only D. Gordon but also Casey Blake on the first pitch from Oswalt. And he got down the line very quickly to second base.
Yeah, he has ridiculous speed. He saw that last night. That first to third he had last night was one of those ones where, well, what we do, we just went, whoa, look at that. And he got down there in a hurry. You wouldn't think there was going to be any pressure at all on Valdez here because this ball's hit hard near the bag, slowed up a little bit. But here into your picture comes D. Gordon right there, and he made him really back off the throw a little bit. But with Valdez, who cares? He's all arm anyway. Valdez doesn't really use his legs that much.
So 2 away. Here's Andre Ethier, who didn't start last night's ball game. He came off the bench in the 9th inning, and he takes low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Phil's got a double play in the first inning last night to help. Cliff Lee, the first 2 batters got on, then he got a double play with a 3-hole hitter.
There's a changeup for a strike.
Their lineup's really different tonight. Have Ethier in there, Loney in there, D. Gordon, more left-handed hitters. Navarro, switch hitter. Here's our Southwest Airlines scouting report on Roy, and he's ready to go deep into games now. The back problems are gone, no more pitch counts, and he wanted to pitch longer last time out.
He was kind of surprised that he was lifted. He said it was the earliest he's been lifted from a game when he's pitching well. And he was pitching well.
Well, Charlie knew he could have gone a couple more innings, but he had a shot there with Dominic Brown. And, we all remember that catch that Lance Nix made in left center field for Washington, save runs. If that ball had dropped in, would have been just fine. Probably would have won that game. As it was, they lost it 2-1.
Foul ball off to the left and out of play. It remains 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ethier. Ethier is 4th in the National League in hitting at .324. Earlier this season, he had a 30-game hitting streak. During that streak, he hit .397.
Now here's a guy fouling one fastball off after another down the left field line, but they know Ethier can at any moment, if you make a mistake with a fastball, pull it even with 2 strikes. Not like necessarily the way Gordon was leading off the game.
Breaking ball, cut on and missed 65 miles an hour.
But he decided to throw it to him anyway.
Wow, that was a slow curve.
The fastball before that was 94.
Nothing across for the Dodgers. We go to the bottom of the first. So this lineup, it's brought to you by Xfinity. Only from Comcast. Leading it off at center field, Shane Victorino. Placido Polanco bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard, the first baseman. RAUL IBANEZ is in left field. He'll bat fifth. Carlos Ruiz will hit sixth. And the bottom third of Dominic Brown, Wilson Valdez, and Roy Oswalt. And they'll face 22-year-old right-hander Ruby De La Rosa. And he's 1-0 in his big league career. This guy throws hard, and he also has a very good changeup.
Out of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, making his first major league start. See, left-handed hitters just 111 against him. Southwest Airlines scouting report, they have him at 93 to 98 with an outstanding changeup. He was their minor league pitcher of the year last year for the Dodgers organization.
Had a good spring training. In fact, there was some thought that he would make the Dodgers out of spring training, but they decided to send him back down to the minors for some seasoning. And the first fastball is at 94, and it's taken outside.
They have their notes that he struck out Ichiro twice in a game. That's significant. That will get your attention.
Victorino was 0 for 2 last night.
He could be a little amped right now, too, coming out in his first major league start like this. And, you know, you don't want to get up there and get too aggressive against a guy like this. Make him throw strikes.
Victorino is looking for the first strike, and he takes it outside and low, 3-0.
Right, that's the approach you should have. Now, those pitches are not wild. They're close, but they're off the plate.
There's Polanco, waits on deck. Ball 4, and he walked Victorino on 4 pitches. Good luck at McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Alan Frick of Sellersville. The Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game. The Big Al's going to win $600. Phillies have not homered here in June, as we talked about the last couple of days. In fact, they haven't homered now in 173 official at-bats.
That's getting a little bit ridiculous, and especially in this park now, you start to play some games here on hot nights where the ball can carry at Citizens Bank Park. Somebody's going to win, and it'll be Allen, has a chance to win some cash.
Placido Polanco, the hitter, with a runner at first. And he takes it inside, 1-0.
That's what we were talking about, that it can happen. Guy goes out there, his first start, he's a hard thrower, and he's got an adrenaline rush. 5 straight fastballs. They may call an off-speed pitch from the dugout even. Or, you know, get Navarro's attention and say, throw something else. Just see if he can get something else over for his confidence.
Victorino goes. Pitch is taken inside. No throw by Navarro. And a stolen base for Victorino, his 9th of the year. He had a pretty good jump. He didn't have that big of a lead, but he got a really good jump.
Yeah, a little slow to the plate. A little bit deliberate there, trying to aim it maybe. See, big high leg kick, trying to throw a strike. Shane never takes a peek in, straight steal. Steals it easily. Good job by Shane Victorino.
As Victorino talking to D. Gordon in second, while Juan Uribe comes in to try to settle down Ruby De La Rosa.
See D. Gordon pointing to Uribe. They want to know, all right, who's coming in behind him. And Uribe's pointing at D. Gordon like they want to keep the second baseman at home for Polanco, which makes sense, even though he's a right-handed hitter.
2-0 the count to Polanco. And a strike on the outside corner.
It took 7 pitches to throw a strike.
Polanco was 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. He picked up an RBI single, helped the Phillies to the 3-1 victory. 89 hits shy now of 2,000 for his career. Back toward the middle, off the glove of De La Rosa. Uribe's got Victorino going to third. The putout goes 4-5. Victorino didn't read it right away because it hit off the glove of De La Rosa, and as it turns out, he probably should have just anchored down at second base.
Yeah, you have to make sure there, you get a good jump. The first rule of thumb is it has to go by the pitcher. In his mind, it went by the pitcher, but unfortunately, it was deflected right to the second baseman, who gets Victorino at third base. See, he's waiting for it to get by the pitcher, and now he takes a look back and thinks, uh-oh, that was not a good bounce for me.
So 1 away, and Polanco's at first for Chase Utley. Utley was 0 for 3 in last night's ball game. Playing in 5 consecutive games since the off day on Thursday. Charlie Manuel told us today that he'll probably give him off tomorrow, but he said he's feeling good. And he figured if he's feeling good, I'm just going to keep riding him for at least the time being.
Right, and but they always have in mind that they are going to shut him down for a day. And you're right, he was talking about that before the game, that tomorrow is likely that to happen.
Hiroki Kuroda is the scheduled pitcher tomorrow for the Dodgers. Another right-hander. Wilson Valdez, who's been subbing for Jimmy Rollins, and well, Jimmy's better today, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to play tomorrow, so maybe somebody else will be subbing for him at second base.
Yeah, Martinez and Valdez would be your up the middle combination if it goes that way tomorrow night.
There's Michael. 1-0 the count to Utley. Outside, 2-0.
It's really opening up, and that's why these balls are sailing away a little bit. A lot of fastballs. Still haven't seen that changeup yet.
Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach for the Dodgers, said with the changeup and with his overall makeup, what's not to like about him? If I had his changeup, I'm not sure I would throw anything else.
Well, they're trying to establish a fastball early, and he's wild with it. And, a little base running snafu there, or he could really be in some trouble.
There's Rick Honeycutt sitting down in front of Trey Hillman, who's the bench coach for the Dodgers.
I have to give Uribe a little credit on that play, too, because he had it right in front of him on the deflection. Saw that Victorino had gotten a late start and went after him and got him.
Utley takes ball 4. Second walk of the inning for De La Rosa, and the Phillies have runners on first and second with 1 out.
Well, it is time now, if you've been waiting, for the Nissan keys to tonight's game. As Tommy mentioned, it's really nice here tonight. The big time heat and humidity is still a day away, so pleasant night for a game. First time pitcher tonight, big time prospect. Be prepared for electric stuff, and also make him work a little bit here in the first inning, and that's what they're doing. They haven't been able to do anything yet, but he is a little bit pumped up, and he's all over the place. Well, not all over the place. He's wild away to these left-handed hitters.
And jump on him now before he settles in.
Right, because when you hear about the stuff that he has, he could all of a sudden start throwing that off-speed stuff and settle in.
That bottom number right there will surprise me. Ryan Howard hitting 191 against the Dodgers in his career. but he has 11 home runs, and he fouls the first pitch back at 97. It's 0-1.
And that's one of the few fastballs to these left-handed hitters that he's thrown in the middle part of the plate in. I don't know whether he tried to do it or not, but he jammed him. Young pitcher like this too, they probably have a pitch count in mind, so it's nice if you could run it up early on him.
Howard fouls another inside fastball away, and it's no balls at 2 strikes.
You got to think that changeup's coming any minute, like now, after all these fastballs.
Yeah, this is the first time that he's really been in a position where he could throw it in a swing and miss situation.
Yeah, and ahead in the count especially. Navarro really working him right now, trying to establish fastball.
0-2 the count to Howard. Line drive taken on one hop by Uribe. Throws to Gordon for 1. That's all they'll get. And Polanco really had a scamper to third because he thought that ball might be caught, so he froze at second. Utley, as is usually the case, read it perfectly. And he had a really good angle to read it too.
Yeah, and that was the changeup that he threw him there too. He got him out in front a little bit. He still hit it pretty hard, and that was a nice play by Uribe. He's made 2 good plays in this inning. Here it is. Nice short hop pickup. The ball's by him. And Gordon got in the middle of the bag a little bit right there, so he gave him a shot. As Tom said, he had to freeze. It was a tougher angle for Polanco there than it was for Utley, who had it closer and was able to see that it was not going to be caught.
First and third now for the Phillies with 2 outs. Here's Ibanez, who had last night off. And he takes on the outside corner. A change up, and it's 0-1. Ibanez did pinch hit in last night's ball game. He was 0 for 1. 8 homers, 30 RBIs to go along with a .241 average.
Now he's starting to throw these changeups. Didn't throw any. Now he's throwing 3 in a row. Say he has a breaking ball too, but by far his 3rd best pitch. Work in progress. We're Cunny Cutter. Tom was talking about the manager, and there's Don Mattingly. I mean, the pitching coach, and Don Mattingly, the manager.
Back toward the middle, right back to De La Rosa. He's going to get out of this despite the fact that he threw 11 pitches out of the strike zone here in the first. So no runs, no hits. 2 men left for the Phillies. We go to the second. A scoreless game. For each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Matt Kemp leads it off here in the second. Oswalt allowed a single to start the game, but then a double play erased that base hit. Kemp was fooled last night, like a lot of hitters, by Cliff Lee's curveball. And watching some of the highlights from yesterday's game again today, it was probably the best curveball he's had this year.
Yeah, he got some swings and misses, that's for sure.
We've already seen Oswalt get a swing and miss on the curve. That finished up the first. There's Cliff. Change up, swung on and missed. 2-2. Lee last night, 7 innings. He struck out 10. He now has 100 strikeouts this year.
He's not going as deep into games as we've seen him before because he's getting so many more strikeouts.
Line drive toward the gap in right center field. That's going to be in for extra bases. It'll go all the way to the wall, and Kemp is around second. He was thinking about 3, but he stopped. And he's aboard with a leadoff double. That's his 12th two-base hit of the year.
Yeah, the way he can run, he was thinking about triple, as Tom said, but not real deep out there where that ball was, only 398. And you never want to make that first or third out at third base. A high fastball out over the plate, and it gets out in that area in a hurry. Now Shane Victorino gets to it quickly, and that also stops him.
So a runner in scoring position for Uribe, and he takes inside. Uribe was 2 for 4 in last night's ball game. He pulled a single left, and he flipped a single to right.
Not the greatest guy to hit a ground ball to the right side, but he's probably going to try.
And he does. A line drive caught by Utley. They're going to. Oh, no, they're not. Kemp would have been doubled up at second. Polanco gets to the ball. And it's just one away here in the second.
Wow. He had him from here to Camden. And, you know, just a quick throw. Kemp has to go back and tag up, though. And that cost him the ability to be able to go to third base. You'll see here. Now he's out by so much. Chase makes a nice play on the line drive, and you know he doesn't have to hurry to throw back. But watch what Kemp has to do. Here's the throw gun by him. Now Kemp just can't keep going because the ball's caught on the fly. He has to come all the way back and tag up, and as a result, it's too late to go to third.
And he did start to go to third, and then realized, wait a minute, I got to go back.
Yeah, doesn't work that way. But this is just a mistake by Chase, who now knows that he was so far off second that he didn't have to hurry that. He could have walked it over there and gotten him.
Well, what a way, and still a runner at second. And James Loney's the hitter. Loney came in as a pinch hitter in last night's game. Takes a changeup low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Phillies did a good job of getting that ball back into third base, too, so that Kemp couldn't go to third after having to go back and tag up. He's getting a kick out of Oswalt when he's ticked off at himself. Things aren't going right, and he wants a new ball. He just kind of disgustedly just flips the thing in there. Doesn't show a whole lot of emotion.
Day in and day out.
Ever.
Outside ball 4. Loney works out the first walk of the night for the Dodgers. So they have first and second now with 1 away. Hey, don't forget, next week the Phillies will wrap up this long homestand against the Florida Marlins. The Marlins are in a little bit of a mix-up right now. They're playing the Braves tonight, but they were beat up by the Brewers. Anyway, next week the Phillies will play Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday against the Marlins. That Wednesday is a split day-night doubleheader. There are some seats still available by going to Phillies.com. Couple day games, couple night games in that series. Here's Navarro with runners on first and second.
Got a little wild with his fastball in this inning. It almost looked like he kind of pitched around Loney when he got behind him. Deano Navarro, part of the Rays team that was here for the World Series.
Yeah, Navarro spent 5 years with Tampa. He began his career with the Yankees, traded to the Dodgers, and then wound up with the Rays. We mentioned last year he didn't finish up well for Tampa. In fact, he hit just 194, and he basically just walked away from them during the postseason. Over toward the hole. That's going to get through for a base hit. Ibanez gets to it quickly. Kemp's around third quickly. The throw to the plate cut off by Polanco. And the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead. Ball kind of died in the grass because it wasn't hit that hard by Navarro. And that enabled Kemp to score easily from second.
Yeah, they were playing him up the middle with the shortstop Valdez, and the ball shot right through the hole. Here's a look at it, and you'll see where it goes. Now the shortstop just coming over into your picture there and gets in the cutoff position.
So Kemp scores. Here's Jerry Sands, who takes inside. He's the 8-hitter. Sands was 0 for 2 in last night's ball game.
Kind of the sloppy inning now, because obviously that run should not have had a chance to score.
This could be 2. Utley flips to Valdez for 1, and it's the second double play of the ball game for the Phillies. But the Dodgers get a run on 2 hits. They lead 1. We go to the bottom of the second. The Dodgers have struck first. They lead at 1-0. Leaving your desk. Tomorrow, Seth Everett stops by to talk Phillies. Take a lunch break with Rhea Hughes and Seth Everett. Tomorrow, starting at 12:30, only on csnphilly.com. Well, we go to the bottom of the second. Crowd still settling in with the Dodgers on top 1-0. It'll be Carlos Ruiz, Dominic Brown, Wilson Valdez against right-hander Ruby De La Rosa, who the Dodgers signed as a free agent back in 2007. He's 16 years old. And speaking of signings, the Major League Baseball draft, as we talked about, started yesterday and really picked up steam today. And Marty Wolver, who's the Phillies director of scouting, will join us next inning to talk about the Phils' first pick, a young man by the name of Larry Green of the state of Georgia. Big kid.
A lot of good baseball players come out of the state of Georgia, as the Atlanta Braves have proved over the years. They've really gotten some gems out of that state. Larry Green, 6'2", 225 pounds. Wheels, he hit a cool .562 this year with 18 home runs. Yeah, well, that's not that great an average in high school, right? When you're the best players. I don't know. That's pretty good, I think, anywhere. Yeah, that is good. But yeah, I mean, you hear that a lot, though. 400 and 500 when you're in high school, and you think, wow. I know I couldn't do that. Hit 200 would be nice. A strike to Ruiz. It's 2-1. But yeah, well, let Marty talk about it. Just what we read that they said about him. They really project him as a potential power hitter, a guy with some power, and is a really good athlete. Phillies also took a pretty good player out of the University of Nebraska by the name of Cody Ash. 24 home runs during his career as Ruiz works out a walk.
That's the third walk issued by De La Rosa, the second time the leadoff batter's been walked.
Yeah, they had him on the ropes in the first inning and let him get away. And you got nothing off him. And, you know, he is wild right now, and you really have a chance to get him. And you don't know if he's going to settle down. First major league start, a little excited.
See the splits, that tells a lot of the story. 15 balls, 8 strikes so far. Here's Dominic Brown. He's hit in 3 straight. Outside, 1-0, and Navarro's going to go out and talk to De La Rosa. You brought up a point before about a pitch count. Now, some people might be surprised by that, since De La Rosa is stretched out. He was 2-2 this year with a 2.92 ERA in the minors. But a lot of times when guys make their major league debut, teams let them ease into their first major league start.
Pitches are not pitches, just pitches. That's exactly right. When you're in the major leagues, there's a whole lot more exertion going into this right now, and adrenaline. So they'll watch him very closely tonight.
Try to change up it. It floated outside, 2-0.
This time last year, he pitched in a game before 507 people on this date. Tonight, 45 plus, sold out big leagues. It's different, very different. See how wild he is away? And from what I see right now, he really is opening up quickly. You know, he's trying to get everything going too fast. And that a lot of that is just caused by adrenaline, excitement, trying to do things quick that you're not used to doing. And, you know, he's getting out of what he probably naturally does and stay closed. You don't put up the numbers he's put up by opening up like this.
Well, he fires a strike with the count 3-0, a fastball at 96, so it's 3-1.
Stayed a little more closed that time and got that pitch on more of a downward plane towards the middle of the plate.
Outside, ball 4. So first and second now with nobody out. 4 walks issued now by De La Rosa. Hey, follow the Phillies with the MLB.com @BAT11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for details. Riccati cut out to the mound. Probably couldn't watch anymore. He allowed the first inning to kind of unfold and let Deanna Navarro and Juan Uribe talk to De La Rosa. And I guess he figured after back-to-back walks it was time for, well, the elder statesman to go out and say something.
Yeah, and almost every pitch that he's missing with is in the same spot. With all these left-handed hitters in the lineup, they're away.
Well, Rick Cuddycutt is going to walk back to the dugout. It was a long conversation, and he did a lot of talking. De La Rosa just did a lot of nodding.
Yeah, you don't know whether or not they can see a mechanical flaw they could even address at this point. A lot of times pitching coaches don't want to do that with veteran guys, let alone a young kid. You can say something like, you know, slow down a little bit. You're opening up. Everything's, you know, you can see by the way everything's flying away to the left-handed hitters. Whether or not he can adjust, Phillies hope he doesn't. Now you have a right-handed hitter, so he might get more locked in.
Valdez was 1 for 3 last night. He got the Phillies' first rally started, really their only rally early on.
So he's going to be thrown to another shin guard round now, to another part of home plate than he's been for the most part, except for Ruiz, Polanco.
That pitch was close, but he hasn't been close with every other pitch, so he's not going to be given the benefit of the doubt by the home plate umpire.
Right. Everything's in a hurry with it. Fast.
Jeff Kellogg is the crew chief.
Now he's taking a little walk right now. Get the rosin bag. Try to slow up. When you're a young pitcher and you're at the levels he was, a lot of times when you get in trouble, all you do is you try to throw harder. At this level, that rarely works. Took a little off that and got a strike.
Three and two the count now to Valdez.
That was a nasty pitch right on the outside corner.
Back toward the middle. That's going to get into center field. A base hit. Ruiz around third. The stop sign is up. And the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Yeah, nobody out. Pitcher coming up. Don't want to take a chance there. But Juan Samuel knows that Kemp can throw with anybody in the league. That ball was hit fairly hard on one hop, and Kemp was shallow. And he had a heck of a chance to throw him out. Now, he didn't come after that real aggressively, did Kemp. It was almost like he thought the run was going to score there, but you don't know that as a third base coach. Let's see if you can tell the way Kemp approaches. Fastball up, fights it off through the middle. Yeah, you know, he laid back a little bit on it, but then he really started to charge it, and that third base coach sees that with nobody out. Breaks are going to go on.
And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Oswalt. Valdez, that was the first hit of the night for the Phillies. He's now hitting 4 straight. And a strike on the outside corner.
Dodgers will give up a run for a double play ball up the middle. It's hit to third, they'll probably come home, depending on the speed of the ball. If it's not a double play ball, then Blake will come home and get the out at the plate. Heard somebody say squeeze. We usually don't squeeze with the bases loaded because you pop it up maybe into a double play or you get a force at the plate.
Oswalt's down on strike, so what away. First strikeout for De La Rosa. And back to the top of the order with the bases loaded. Ruiz over at third. Brown with great speed is at second. And Valdez is at first. Here's Victorino. He walked his first time up.
More of the thinking of Juan Samuel, too, to hold the runner at third base because you get one out, now you have the top of the order.
A change up to Victorino. That was a change up.
Oh, yeah.
90 miles an hour.
That was a good one. That's a change up we heard about. Great arm speed.
Threw it again. This time it was out of the strike zone. 1-1.
Not a big separation in his fastball and his changeup.
Back toward the middle. Knocked down by De La Rosa, and he has a play at the plate. 2 away. So the fielder's choice, 1-2 on the putout. That ball had gotten past the mound. They wouldn't have been able to double up Victorino, and a run would have scored. But De La Rosa was able to at least knock it down. It wasn't hit that sharply.
And Ruiz has to go on contact with the ball on the ground. And it's a nice play by the pitcher to knock it down. And he has an easy play at the plate.
So Ruiz will catch his breath and hope that Polanco will pick up his teammates with 2 away here in the second. 1-0 Dodgers. That was the first breaking ball of the night for De La Rosa.
Strange time to try that. Spinning slider right at his head.
Element of surprise, Wills.
Yeah, that one sure was. 42 pitches and no runs on the board here in the second inning.
And as you see, the bases loaded.
Polanco, not a guy that walks very often either.
figure he's taking here with the count 3-0. And 2 outs, bases loaded.
Just do not want to come out of this with nothing.
So I got a Major League scoreboard. The Red Sox have jumped out to a 3-0 lead over the Yankees. That game's at the top of the second. Yankees lead the division by 1. And there's ball 4. And the Phillies get a run. It's a bases loaded walk to Polanco. Patience pays off for the Phillies.
Yeah, that was a really good job by Polanco. You think about that first pitch that he fell behind him, throwing the first breaking ball of the game, and then didn't come close after that.
5 walks now by De La Rosa as Brown scores an RBI for Polanco. Remember the Phillies the other day against the Pirates scored 2 runs and sent 8 men to the plate in an inning without a hit.
Yeah.
Now tonight, Phillies did get a hit in this inning, but they've also worked out a couple walks.
They'd love to get a hit and make him pay for all these walks.
Utley walked his first time up. 1 of 5 in these first couple of innings.
Try to get him to bring a pitch up and get it near the plate. All these pitches that are missing are away to the left-handed hitters.
Utley in the air to left center field, not deep. Here comes Kemp, and he crosses in front of Sands to make the catch. So the side is retired. The Phils even it up. 1 run on 1 hit. They leave the bases loaded. 3 walks in the inning. We go to the top of the 3rd. And trivia quiz. Time now as we take a look at, well, a question that's not a cookie, Wheels.
Okay.
Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. What player did the Phillies draft in the first round ahead of Mike Schmidt in 1971? Think you have it?
Is it a pitcher?
I can't tell you that right now.
Why not? You said it wasn't a cookie.
The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. It's not a cookie. It's not even any kind of pastry, I don't think. I think this is a tough one. This is really going to test your memory.
I got to guess, though.
De La Rosa batting for the first time tonight. In fact, it's his first major league at bat. And he takes below the knees. 3-1 the count. De La Rosa was 1 for 13 in the minors. And he just worked out a leadoff walk. He doesn't know what to do. Second walk issued by Arroyo as well. Well, it's a busy time around the ballpark. Well, it's always busy around the ballpark. But Marty Wolver, we know when Marty's in town that the draft is here. And it was here yesterday. It still continues today. Marty, of course, the director of scouting for the Phillies. And how goes it?
We're getting near the end for today, Max. So we've made about 30 picks, 31 picks, and we're just going to get ready for tomorrow, finish up tomorrow.
Now, the objective, and this is just what I had read, was to maybe refurbish the middle infield stock and maybe some catchers, and it looks like you've done that for the first couple of days.
Yeah, you know, we've had some luck, I think, with a couple middle infielders and you know, some catchers, and I think over time, obviously, we'll pan out and see how we did.
Anything stand out that you can talk about?
You know, we took some really good-looking young middle infielders that it's just going to be a matter of time. Hopefully we can get them signed.
There's a base hit to right by Gordon. De La Rosa's on his way to third. Brown's throw not in time. And the Dodgers have runners on first and third with nobody out. Now that's the second hit of the night for D. Gordon.
He may not have known what to do after he got ball four, but he sure knew what to do with a base hit to right field. That was really athletic. Not D. Gordon, who is athletic, but the pitcher to go to first to third. Usually they just, you know, shut it down and trot into second on those plays.
Well, now the tough part of the Dodger order is up with 2 on and nobody out here at the top of the third.
Marty, let's talk about the guy he took number one, the outfielder, because so many good players seem to be coming out of Georgia lately, and the Braves are a perfect example of that.
Well, they really have, Wheels. It's been a very productive state. Larry Green, we think, has got a chance to be a corner outfielder with above average power. He's a big, strong kid already, very physical, mature, and got a pretty good idea at the plate of what he's doing. So we're really looking forward to having him in a Philly uniform.
Well, there are the particulars. Not only 19 home runs, 13 stolen bases, but a .562 average in high school, and as you said, very athletic too.
Yeah, very athletic. He had a chance to go to Alabama, I think it was, for football, and decided not to do that. And but he's a real strong kid, and I think he's got a chance to have a very productive, you know, bat here in the stadium. Casey
Blake is the hitter. The count is 0-1, and Blake hits one toward the hole and into left field, a base hit, and the Dodgers have retaken the lead on an RBI single by Blake, his 12th RBI of the year. So still nobody out here in the third, and 3 straight base runners against Roy Oswalt. Well, here are the top 5 picks for the Phillies. We talked about Larry Green, picked the 39th overall, and the Phillies did not have a first-round pick, and the 39th pick comes from the Jason Worth signing with the Nationals. Were you surprised that Larry was there? Were you happy that he was there?
You know, there was a lot of activity on him, and we weren't really sure what was going to happen as it played out. But we're very pleased, obviously, that he was there. There was a lot of action. A lot of people saw him during the course of the year. But some of the other kids behind him we're certainly very pleased to have, and I think we've got a chance to have some guys that can swing the bat a little bit and do some things.
The one name I recognized, Marty, was Cody Ash from Nebraska. Tell me a little bit about him.
You know, he's a third baseman, offensive player. Had probably, I think, 12 to 15 home runs this year, Mac, and just really a good approach at the plate, and we think he's got a chance to be a real productive hitter.
Did you see him a lot?
I wish I could say I did. Get back home a little bit, but in the springtime I don't get a chance to see many of the players in my backyard.
That ball gets away from Howard, and Gordon's going to easily score from second. Blake's going to go to third. And now it's 3-1 Dodgers. And that's going to be an error charge to Oswalt. Well, this has not been a crisp 3 innings for the Phillies.
You know, we talk a lot of times when you walk the pitch where bad things happen to start an inning. Well, here's an example of it. He wasn't even holding him on and threw it behind him there. And with Gordon's speed, that was a no-brainer. He was going to score.
Yeah, Howard was trying to play back behind the bag with Ethier up. So a runner on third. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Andre Ethier struck out his first time up.
Did you draft a catcher out of East Carolina?
We did, Will. As a matter of fact, a kid by the name of Wright. Average arm, a little pop in his bat, you know, but I think he's going to be a good receiver. That's what we saw him play a few times and really like what we saw.
Is that is that one of the things in the organization you're looking for a little bit, is catching?
Yeah, you know, I'd like to add a few more catchers, and we talked about it prior to the draft.
Another base hit as Ethier serves one into center. It's now 4-1 in favor of the Dodgers, and still nobody out here in the third. So 4 straight base runners for the Dodgers as Ethier picks up his 30th RBI of the year.
Marty, one thing you talk about so much in baseball now with the draft, you know, they may try to change some things with the new agreement and all that, but signability, how important is that when you draft somebody?
You know, Wheels, it's huge. Unfortunately, it's become a bigger part of the game than we'd like it to be, and hopefully something can be done here in the near future to take care of that problem. But it's really a big problem.
There's a great play by Valdez. That'll be a double. Oh, no, it won't. Throw gets away from Howard, and Kemp going to second will get there standing. That's going to be the second error of the inning for the Phillies.
Phillies and Dodgers, two of the best defensive teams in Major League Baseball. A little bit sloppy here tonight.
So instead of 2 outs and nobody on, 1 out and a runner in scoring position.
Give Ethier a little credit. He really got after Chase Utley, but Utley knows he's going to make that play as hard as that ball was hit to short.
Chase made an errant throw earlier in the game. So the Phillies are going to have to play from behind in a big way tonight against the Dodgers. Uribe, the hitter, and he swings at the first pitch and fouls it back.
Without giving away a lot of information, but how do you find out about potential signability and take a chance on guys?
Well, you know, a lot of the kids have advisors or agents, as they're called, and they're usually pretty forthright as far as letting us know what it's going to take to get a player out of his school commitment or out of university. And so we really rely upon them a great deal. And then the area guys have got a pretty good relationship with a lot of these kids as the years have gone on. And they have a pretty good feel for the family and what it's going to take. So all that combined gives us a pretty good idea what it's going to take to get them out.
And Marty, there's so many games and tournaments now, as there's a towering fly ball down the left field line. Ibanez will give it a look, and it's out of play. You know, not only high school baseball, Legion baseball, college baseball, but there's so many AAU tournaments around. You can see guys more often.
You know, Mac, we get a chance to see these kids play a lot. Oh, we see them all summer, the year before their senior year in high school, and USA team for the college players in the Cape Cod League and all the collegiate leagues. So we get a chance to see them play a lot.
1-2 the count to Uribe. Well, I just saw that in round 30, pick number 901, kid from the University of Pennsylvania, Paul Cusick.
Yep.
What'd you think of him?
You know, he's interesting. I think he's got a chance to contribute here. You know, time will tell how far he goes, but nonetheless, we consider him some type of prospect, and we'll just see how it shakes out in the long run.
See Kemp leading off second. 1-2 the count to Uribe. This has turned out to be a long inning for Oswald.
Yeah, to the point where they had to get David Herndon up.
Off the end of the bat to center. Playable for Victorino. Kemp's tagging from second. Draws the throw. The throw by Victorino cut off by Valdez. And with 2 outs, the Dodgers have a runner at third. Well, speaking of the Phillies players and the draft, this is the starting lineup for tonight. Now you see some other teams that selected some of the Phillies players like Victorino and Polanco and Raul Ibanez, but Dominic Brown, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, and where they were selected, it shows, Marty, that sometimes it matters where you're drafted, sometimes it doesn't.
You know, it really doesn't matter. I've always taken that approach, and I think Dominic's a great example of a player taken later in the draft, and certainly there were some circumstances that caused him to be taken later in the draft. But I think all in all, the players get a great opportunity here regardless of where they're taken.
There's Dominic out in right field, settling in here with the Phils as Loney fouls it away. So what is the rest of today like and tomorrow like for the draft?
We're about finished. We went 30 rounds today, and we'll start up again tomorrow at noon, and we'll go 30 to 50. I think we'll probably be done around 4:30, somewhere in that vicinity. And we'll try to take some kids that we want to follow in the summer, and maybe a few other kids that their signability has changed during the course of these 2 days. Maybe they've had second thoughts on what they want to do, and we'll get on the phones tonight and just make contact and see where everybody's at.
1-2 the count to Loney. We mentioned that the Phillies' first pick was 39th. Does that put extra pressure on your scouting department when you don't have a bona fide first-round selection?
Well, you know, it's a frustrating from the standpoint that you see a lot of players who really that you're not going to get an opportunity to draft and select just because of their ability and where you're picking. So it's frustrating in that regard. But we approach it the same as if we had a first-round pick. we just line them up and take the best guy available and go from there.
There's a pop-up to shallow right center. Utley is back under it, makes the catch, and the inning is finally over. Marty, I wish we had a better inning to present to you, but we appreciate you coming on.
Hey, I enjoyed it as usual. Thanks, you guys.
Marty
Thanks, Marty.
Walber, our guest, the director of scouting for the Phillies. Busy couple of days. This was a busy third as the Dodgers take a 4-1 lead. Are waiting. Grab some buds. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. And by Jeep Brand. We don't just make SUVs, we make history. Well, it's time to recoup now for the Phillies. As we head to the bottom of the third, they trail at 4-1. We haven't seen Roy Oswalt have that kind of an inning in a while. We haven't seen the Phillies defensively have that kind of an inning in a while.
Well, it's really been sloppy tonight, no doubt about it. You know, complete with the pitching on the Dodgers side that the Phillies haven't capitalized on. I mean, this guy has 48 pitches already, 29 balls, 19 strikes. Phillies have 1 run, and it's on a bases loaded walk. So, you know, hang in there and you might be able to throw an inning up on him.
Yeah, you just hope he doesn't start to settle in as he gets more and more comfortable up here in the big leagues.
Yeah. Well, how many times we talk about if you walk the pitcher to lead off an inning? There's normally, it just doesn't seem like it ever happens that something doesn't cross home plate. Some way, whether it's 1 run or a bigger inning, because then all of a sudden you're at the top of the order with nobody out and a base runner. And that pitcher did an amazing job first to third.
Well, he just struck Howard out on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Yeah, there's 1 away. That's his second strikeout.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to get ahead of many hitters tonight. And man, that's some fastball. Boy, that thing went down. Whew.
Last Dodger pitcher to have 5 walks in the first 2 innings of a game. Chan-Ho Park back in July of 2000 against the Anaheim Angels. They were called the Anaheim Angels at that time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that. They've changed their name so many times.
Ibanez grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. And he takes on the outside corner, 1-1. Grounder right side. That'll get it to right field. A base hit for Ibanez. Well, the Phillies have a 1-out base runner. Here's Carlos Ruiz. He walked his first time up. Then again, a lot of guys walked their first time up.
A lot of walks, Tom.
In fact, the first 3 hitters have walked in this game. And then Ruiz and Brown have each walked in the game.
Caught in between a little bit, and they have to be careful because, you know, it's only the 3rd inning. You're thinking, gee, you're 3 runs down, but this guy's all over the place. So you don't want to start chasing a lot of bad balls and get yourself out.
Carlos fouls it away, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Short lead off first for Ibanez. Manuel's gotten up from his chair. He's changing his spot, trying to change the luck a little bit. Carlos got out in front of a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And it's even 2-2. Well, he guessed right.
Well, he's trying to get started quick when the guy throws hard. And, you know, the thing about Carlos, and he'll be the first to tell you, is when he's hitting well, he shortens that swing up a little bit. When his swing gets long, he struggles. Oh, breaking ball.
That's only the 2nd one I think he's thrown.
And they both they both come up there like helicopters to right-handed hitters. Why you would throw a 2-2 breaking ball with a 3-run? That just, I don't know. I hope they make him pay for that. And it's not the kid's fault. You know, it's the catcher. You get the bottom of the order up, a 3-run lead, a 2-2 count, and by far his 3rd best pitch. And that's what you have to. Yeah, and that's what you almost have to throw a fastball now.
Well, that was the hardest fastball he's thrown tonight.
Right, and the hitter knows that.
Ruiz pokes it foul down the right field line and out of play.
62 pitches.
Well, his splits are getting closer. He still has 35 balls, 27 strikes.
And some foul balls.
Scott Sheridan, Phillies athletic trainer, talking to Rich Doobie. And a base hit for Ruiz. Back-to-back hits for the Phillies. Turned out to be a really good at-bat by Carlos because he fouled off those last couple of fastballs and got a pitch that he could put through the hole.
Right, and he was a situation after that 2-2 breaking ball where he knows he's going to get fastball to hit.
Hey, Phillies Fantasy Camp is open for business. That's right. If you're 30 years old or older, here's your chance of a lifetime. From the 18th to the 22nd of next year in Clearwater, Florida, the package includes hotel accommodations, practice with and instruction from guys like the Bull, Jim Eisenreich, Mickey Morandini, and the commish Larry Anderson. Fantasy game versus the Legends at Bright House Field. Call 610-520-3400 for more information.
Had a changeup over in the first pitch there to Domonic Brown. He took it, which is good because that's a pop-up pitch or a roll it over.
Brown walked his first time up, scored the only run for the Phillies. And he lays off another changeup that he takes for strike 2.
Surprised that he would get that call.
Well, he tried a fastball and it tailed outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, an update down in South Florida. The Braves lead at 1-0 over the Marlins. Alex Gonzalez has hit a home run. Marlins are playing without Henley Ramirez, who's on the disabled list. Tommy Hansen's pitching for the Braves in that one. Two balls, 2 strikes, the count. A slider, and it's the first one for a strike tonight. And there are 2 away. Third strikeout for De La Rosa.
Yeah, the first 2 breaking balls were to right-handed hitters. They almost hit him. And that one is a breaking ball down, and he swings over it. That was a strike.
Valdez singled his first time up, and he lines one into right field, a base hit. Ibanez around third, heading for home. The throw by Ethier on one hop, and he is out. Right on the money was Andre Ethier with that throw, and the Phillies are retired here in the third. No runs, 3 hits, 2 men left, and Andre Ethier made a heck of a play to nail Raul Ibanez and end the bottom of the third. .30 glorious and fun colors. Who but W.B. Mason? Now we go to the top of the 4th. It's 4-1 Dodgers. Gary Matthews joins us up here in the booth. And Sarge, it hasn't been the crispest of baseball so far in these 3 innings.
Yeah, throwing the ball all over the ballpark. Oswalt maybe forgetting that Ryan Howard was not on first base.
Bottom third of the order due up for the Dodgers, and a strike to Navarro. He singled home a run his first time up. 0-2 the count. Fly ball, shallow left center field. And Victorino is taking a few steps back, makes the catch. 1 away. So now Oswalt will deal with Jerry Sand. Sarge, we just had Marty Wolver on, the Phillies director of scouting, and there's a lot of guys around the country the last couple of days that are feeling pretty good about themselves. What is it like to get drafted by a major league team?
Well, if your dream is to play in the major leagues, it's almost like a dream come true to get drafted. it's just something where you just can't explain it. You just feel so elated, like you've done one heck of a job. Obviously, you haven't done anything but to get drafted. But you know, your family members are saying, "Oh, you're a Philly now. How long is it going to take you to get there?" And some of these guys, as in D. Gordon, get there pretty quickly.
Ball's hit softly to third. Polanco throws out Sands. 2 outs. Well, you've had the pleasure of being drafted as a player and have a son drafted and another son have a chance to play. I mean, it's all around the country, guys are feeling good about it, but you also know what it's like to pass that on.
Oh my goodness, that's the greatest feeling in the world. And talking with Tom Gordon earlier just about that, you are elated when your son just gets to the major league. Now you want him to be able to produce, and so far for D. Gordon, it's been just that.
0-2 the count to De La Rosa.
Well, those are the kind of kids you like coming up that gives your ball club some energy.
Well, D. Gordon, who's on deck, is already 2 for 2 with a run scored tonight. Kind of get the feeling that De La Rosa would have been perfectly content with going back to the bat rack.
Seems to be laboring a little bit with his throws. Oswalt.
Grounded to second. Big hop for Utley. And the side is retired. Well, Oswalt needed that inning. 1-2-3 go the Dodgers. Here in the fourth. It's his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. We go to the bottom of the fourth with the Phils down 3. Nation's fastest mobile broadband network, and by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Another sellout here at Citizens Bank Park, and they're hoping for a little offense. The Phils down 3-4-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Phillies will send 9-1-2 up against Ruby De La Rosa. De La Rosa so far has walked 5. He's allowed 4 hits, but he's only allowed 1 run.
Effectively wild he has been. These are the pitchers that it's hard to settle in on them and pick out a strike to be able to hit. He's getting movement. Again, has been wild, but had a lot of luck so far for me in these early innings.
Do you worry as a hitter, though, that he'll settle down to the point where he'll, get the feel of being a major leaguer, get the feel of a strike zone?
Once he starts getting that off-speed pitch over, that's when he becomes a pretty good pitcher. Having a difficult time with the fastball, but he's starting to kind of settle down. You can tell, and a lot of times the runs have a lot to do with it.
Oswalt fouls it away, and he's behind no balls at 2 strikes. Oswalt struck out his first time up.
Notice he's not throwing a lot of off-speed pitches, mostly fastballs that the hitters are getting.
Oswalt loops it to right, and Ethier had him played perfectly. And there's one away here in the 4th. 10 years ago, the Sixers almost answered the dreams of their fans and won an NBA title. All week on Sports Night, we will relive all the moments with your favorite members of the 2001 Eastern Conference champion 76ers. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night, presented by Toyota, tonight at 10 only on Comcast Sportsnet. And Sarge, it was right around that time when the Sixers were losing to the Lakers in the NBA Finals that our head groundskeeper Mike Buckholder and his wife welcomed their daughter Sarah, who is celebrating a birthday today. She's 10 today.
Oh boy.
So Sarah, happy birthday. She's here at the park enjoying the game with her dad, who has the best office in the ballpark because it's right down the right field line.
That's funny. I thought it was in our office. He's there every night.
Here's the 1-1 to Victorino. Outside, 2-1.
I knew it was something there because he usually stops by, has a cup of ice cream. It has usually 3 or 4 scoops in it. And he'll sit there and eat it and then go back to his cave.
Well, tonight he must have gotten those 3 or 4 scoops and brought them to Sarah for her birthday.
Well, that would have been nice.
Victorino 0 for 1. Walked back in the first. In the air to left field. That's pretty well hit. Sands, though, has room. And he makes the catch. Gone, and Placido Polanco worked out the walk that drove in the only run for the Phillies. Will bat for the 3rd time. Side is retired. 1-2-3 as Polanco lines one right at Casey Blake. The Phillies go down in order. We've completed 4 here in Philadelphia. It's the Dodgers 4 and the Phillies 1. We'll be back with the top of the 5th. Roy Oswalt worked a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. Every time the Phillies do that, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity HD Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, lightning fast internet, and home phone. D. Gordon just scattered his teammates over in the dugout on that foul ball. He also broke his first major league bat.
Well, it seemed just like yesterday that he was taking ground balls there in Clearwater with Jimmy Rollins. Weighs the same, just a little bit taller.
Not much taller, though. I mean, this is how he looked, doesn't it?
I got to tell you, though, I mean, he's going to get stronger. Played winter ball. Venezuela hit 330. Well, you got to be doing something right if you're able to hit that well. And not only that, though, he's not in awe. He's not in awe of being on a major league field. And talking with him earlier in the clubhouse, I mean, you really could tell that. Excited about being here.
Over the glove of Oswalt. Tough play for Utley. No way to get D. Gordon. He'll beat that out. And he has a 3-hit night.
Wow. Just amazed at his speed that even his dad didn't know that he runs this well, as he has a swinging bunt. Oswalt tries to get up to get it, but there's just no chance if Oswalt doesn't get it. There it goes. Look at this speed. Oh, he is just flying. Looks at it once, and he breaks it down as he gets to the bag.
Casey Blake is the hitter. There goes Gordon. The pitch taken inside. The throw by Ruiz, and it's off the glove of Valdez. And a stolen base for Gordon. Mentioned he stole 166 bases during his minor league career.
Now take a look at him as he gets down and straight steal. We talked about that before. Anytime a runner does not look in, that's your key that it's a straight steal. If he looks in, that means usually it should be that hit and run.
Sarge, did they have a pair of uniform pants that fit him?
They didn't have any that fit him, and his belt was actually so tight. Matt Kemp was talking about it, that the Bad Boys pants were a little bit larger than the ones that he had.
Sacrifice by Blake is successful. Gordon's over to third. And one away here in the 5th. That'll bring Andre Ethier to the plate.
Well, infield coming in. Well, one of those situations you think you might walk the batter, but the way that Matt Kemp, 4th hitter, has been hitting, elect not to do that.
Ethier has an RBI single tonight. He hit a single to center his last time up. Struck out back in the 1st. And he is well above the National League average in getting runners home from third with less than 2 outs. That's a good spot, boy. Oof.
Now that's where he's going to need to put it. I was just going to say that Ethier has a pretty good eye at the plate as he shakes his head. He's going to call it in there. Maybe you want to go in there a little bit further so that he doesn't get good wood on the ball.
Back toward the middle, picked up by Utley. Looks Gordon back to third, and there are 2 outs. Boy, Oswalt's dancing all over the mound trying to get those baseballs. And he did just that, Sarge. He basically went right back to the same spot.
Veteran pitchers are going to do that. He got a strike that could have been questionable whether or not it was a strike or a ball. He got the call, so he decides to come right back in there. Hitter automatically will swing at that pitch. And he got him to jammed him on that.
So Ethier is retired. Here's Kemp, who takes pitch low. 1 ball, no strikes. Kemp doubled his first time up and scored the first run of the game. Fielder's choice his last time to the plate.
Pitching on the corners, good pitch. Matt Kemp doesn't think so. We'll talk to Tom Gordon about his first strikeout in the major leagues. And that was off of Mr. Canseco.
Jose or Ozzie?
Jose. Ozzie, it wouldn't be much to talk about.
Well, for D. Gordon, he'll say his first major league hit came against Roy Oswalt, and that's not too shabby.
Yeah, I thought his mom was almost going to start crying there, but it is a happy feeling, again, just for him to be in the major leagues and then to get a few hits. That's icing on the cake.
Inside to Kemp, 2-2.
There they are. Yeah, and I tell you, Tom has just been he's having a nervous time. You know, he's acting as if maybe he's having a baby. He's just sweating. He's in booth to booth, walking around.
Back toward the middle again. Utley is there. And Kemp is retired. So are the Dodgers here in the 5th. So a nice job by Oswalt to work out of a jam here in the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th here in Philadelphia with the Phils down 3. Pre-game party areas for groups of 20 or more are perfect for entertaining family, friends, or business associates. A variety of party areas are available to choose from. Call 215-463-5000 and ask about pre-game parties at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies trail at 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Utley, Howard, Ibanez against De La Rosa, who delivers a strike. He certainly has better control now than he did early on. And as a hitter, Sarge, is that better, worse?
Well, you know, one thing with the pitch count, though, he's not going to be around a long time, but it would work to your benefit. You know, but sometimes, again, these guys get a little bit stronger as the game goes on. They're used to pitching in a lot of different hot weather. And Dominican, you know, the only thing he hasn't been able to get over consistently is the breaking ball. But a lot of times you think it's easier since he's almost one pitch. He's just throwing, you know, fastballs, but he's got fastballs that are pretty hard and they have some movement on.
2-2 the count to Utley. That was the changeup. In fact, he threw back-to-back changeups. Sometimes it's hard to tell because his fastball at times has been 92, 93. Then other times it's been 98. but the changeup has been 89, 88, even 90.
Yeah, he's been slowing his motion down on that off-speed pitch. Not every single time, but on some of them, he's been slowing it down some.
That's in the air to center. Playable for Kemp, who ventures back. So Utley's retired. That'll bring Ryan Howard to the plate. Howard struck out his last time up. Fielder's choice his first time. They appeal, no swing, says Mark Carlson, the third base umpire.
See whether or not he can look for a fastball and catch up to it. Want to make sure it's in the right zone when you swing, preferably out over the plate.
Not there.
Not there. Well, sometimes you got in your head, I'm gonna swing at this pitch. And you've made it up in your head that you're going to swing at it almost before it comes because you are in that hitter's count, but you got to have discipline not to swing at balls that are balls. That's when you got to take your walks, get him into trouble. I mean, you're looking for a ball that's a little bit just up and out over the plate. That ball down and in. Well, the more you take your walks, the more strikes you're going to get.
Well, he went down on a pitch that was out of the strike zone, a 96-mile-an-hour sinker. But he was swinging fastball out over the plate from the get-go, and he just couldn't adjust.
Real surprised at that swing. He almost swinging as if he didn't really see the ball. If you're looking for the ball out over the plate, you're not going to swing at that. But if you decide to swing, you got to go in and let it go. If you do, you might be able to foul that off. But that seemed to be just the ball cutting in on him. No chance to hit that pitch where it is.
Ibanez takes a strike. So the Phillies now have 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Nobody on, trailing at 4-1. Ryan's 0 for 3 with a couple strikeouts.
You know, to be a good hitter, you got to know the strike zone. Pitchers go to school to you in the off season and make an adjustment, so it's up to you as a hitter. If they're getting you out a certain way, that you make an adjustment.
Right side, and Uribe backs up on it. Still has plenty of time to retire. Ibanez and the Phillies for the second straight inning go down in order. So 6 in a row retired by De La Rosa. He's starting to settle in as we go to the top of the 6th. struggles, and every fifth day, Roy Halladay is there to make sure the struggles are kept to a minimum. His determined 7-inning performance in Pittsburgh put an end to the Phillies' losing streak and once again showed why he is so valuable. Doc was dazzling again, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Oh, we begin the top of the sixth. Uribe swings at the first pitch from Roy Oswalt. Oswalt's allowed 7 hits so far and 4 runs. Obviously, his worst inning was the third when he allowed 3 runs. The Phillies' defense didn't help him. His defense didn't help him.
No, not at all.
Uribe down in the count now. No balls and 2 strikes. He's 0 for 2.
Well, still a very manageable game. Only down, 3 runs. I'm just hoping they're going to leave him in to maybe walk a couple in a row before he gets out.
Oswalt, prior to tonight's ball game, in his last 6 starts against the Dodgers, he was 5-0 with an earned run average of 1.49. And Uribe, with 2 strikes, is able to reach. Ibanez cuts it off. His throw to second, not in time. And Uribe is aboard with his 8th double of the year. In fact, the run that Oswalt allowed in the second ended a streak of 21 consecutive scoreless innings against the Dodgers.
See where this pitch is, and that's going down to get the ball. And sometimes we talk about it, you got to give that hitter a little bit of credit as Uribe comes sliding in.
Loney's 0 for 1. He walked his first time up. Right side, that'll get Uribe over to third, and Utley will throw out Loney. 1 away.
Going to make an out. That's a productive one. Uribe getting over to third base. Well, that's how you're supposed to play the game, though. I mean, you get a runner on second. You want to get a hit as that hitter, but getting him over as the fighting fields, bring that infield in again. And you do that too when you know that you're having problems scoring runs. Charlie feeling that he can't afford to give up any more runs, so he's going to see whether or not he can cut it off at home.
With bullpen action behind Oswalt, and the first pitch outside and high, Oswalt just slipped off the mound. Dodgers also have bullpen action. Hawksworth, who pitched last night, is up and throwing. So Herndon and J.C. Romero both tossing for the Phillies. He overpowered him there. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Uribe over at third. Well, he is living upstairs, and Navarro keeps on swinging upstairs.
Well, that's where he's getting tested, and he feels good about throwing the ball by him. And besides that, if you can get it up there, that's where you can maybe get a pop-up.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count to Navarro. And the pitch coming from Oswalt. Pop-up. First base side. Uribe is going to tag, but Howard's going to put it away. And with 2 outs, the Dodgers with a runner at third. It's a pretty good pitching right there by Oswalt.
Well, that's what he's trying to do, either get a strikeout or a pop-up, and he's done that. See where the pitch is, and you're able to get that pop-up, and it is a little bit high. Probably wanted to get it a little higher, but guess what? That worked.
There's Jerry Sands, who's grounded out twice. And he takes inside. Aaron Miles has come out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit for the pitcher. There he is. That fastball was at 89 from Oswalt. Tonight he's hit 92 a couple of times, but he's been right in the 90-91 neighborhood.
Yeah, not getting some of those off-speed pitches over. You know, most pitchers will pitch off that fastball. Is that a pretty good fastball? Just seems to be laboring a little bit when he throws the ball, almost as if he's in some pain.
Well, obviously he's had to manage this year with that bad back, and you wonder if that's flaring up. On the hands, over to the right side to his left Utley, and he throws out Sands, and for the second straight inning, Oswalt leaves a runner over at third. So after the leadoff double by Uribe, he's stranded at third. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and the Phillies looking for some runs. Pennsylvania Lottery. Play Hot 100,000. The new instant game for the Pennsylvania Lottery. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Oh, a new pitcher on for the Dodgers. So the Phillies fans who were somewhat optimistic after the first couple of innings because Ruby De La Rosa was struggling so much with his command. Now have seen the Phillies fall behind 4-1, and Blake Hawksworth, who pitched in last night's game, on for the 16th time this year. A win, a loss, 2.95 earned run average. And he'll face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Phillies, and then if it gets down to the pitcher spot, I would think a pinch hitter for Roy Oswalt.
Well, with him being down, I would think so. No, De La Rosa, somewhat effective. Well, effective and not giving up runs. Walking that many.
Hey, are you a most valuable Fanatic and 14 and under? Well, join the Fanatic MVP Club and receive a Fanatic poster, MVP lanyard, and a Fanatic bobblehead. Registration fee is $12. For information or to register, see Phillies.com/MVP Club. Here's Ruiz, who's been on base twice tonight. Carlos walked his first time up, singled his last time to the plate. One ball and one strike. You know, we just read that promo about the Fanatic MVP club, and you think about how good the Phillies have been over the last, I guess you could even say 7-8 years, even before they started winning divisions. Now, this generation, there are a lot of youngsters that are always here.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very fortunate, and the numbers keep on increasing because of the success of the Phillies.
That's right, and you do that with a lot of the youngsters, but you develop the following by the way that you play and the way that you win.
I mean, it's young and old that are Phillies fans, but you just look around this ballpark and you see, you know, all of the fans that come in on a daily basis, but how many young fans that are here on a nightly basis?
They're having a good time.
Two and two the count to Ruiz. Outside and high, 3-2.
It seems like every pitcher you see these days are throwing in the high 90s, especially the younger guys that are coming into the league.
Is there a reason for that, you think, Sarge? Is it the training? Is it all the games they've played?
Got to be more so the training, the diet. A lot of the pitchers, you know, just like your sons that are coming up that are pitching, they don't throw as many innings. They're able to develop a little bit more, get a lot more instruction, a lot more different camps that you're going through.
Well, there's De La Rosa, who we saw tonight. I mean, he had himself a live arm. Now, for the first part of the game, he had no idea where the ball was going, but he figured some things out as the night went on. Little number. Hawksworth off the hill. Takes care of Ruiz for the first out.
Yeah, I thought he had a lot of luck involved with that, getting men on. Ball hit up the middle, deflected to Uribe. End up getting Shane Victorino over at third base. That was a huge play in that first inning.
Yeah, not only that, but with the Phillies in the second had the bases loaded, they managed just the one run.
Yeah. Now, those are the difficult things, and that's what kind of deflates your club at times when you're not able to get at least a couple of runs. Almost looked like you could go up to the plate, not even swing, and he was going to walk you, but obviously a little bit nervous.
Want to know the count to Dominic Brown. And an off-speed pitch, and it's one ball and one strike.
Can't be too anxious to hit. Sometimes the pitcher's not throwing to you. You got to, again, take your walks. Take pitches that you can get into good hitting counts.
Well, he saw how he swung at the first changeup, so it came back and just moved it to the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, good movement on it.
Kept his hands back, but it's going to hang up there for Kemp. And there are 2 outs here in the 6th. So Phillies through the first 3 innings, Sarge, they left 7. Had a lot of opportunities, scored just the 1 run. Well, since the end of the 3rd, they haven't had a base runner. That's 8 in a row retired by the Dodgers pitchers.
Yeah, the inconsistency, too, of the hitters not being able to get hits or get walks to be able to get on. And that's how you put pressure on the opposition. Exactly what the Dodgers are doing to the fighting fields tonight, keeping runners in scoring position or just keeping runners on.
Valdez 2 for 2. Ross Float has come out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit.
Still a very manageable game. A couple of bloops and a blast. The game is tied up.
Over to shortstop. Gordon takes a hop. And he throws out Valdez. So an easy inning for Hawksworth. And the Phillies are retired in order here in the 6th. So we've completed the first 6 here at Citizens Bank Park. And the Dodgers lead the Phils by a score of 4-1.
Pretty strange game here tonight at Citizens Bank Park. Really sloppy through the first 3 innings. Dodgers building up that 4-1 lead. Then it's really settled down over the last 3. 4-1 as we go to the 7th inning. D. Gordon, son of Flash Gordon. Flash here tonight at the ballgame. He's 3 for 3. Scored a run, stolen a bag in his first major league start. Deanna Navarro, Casey Blake, Andre Ethier of RBI hits. Phillies with a couple of errors. Roy Oswalt will lead the game after 6 innings. Placido Polanco, the only run for the Phillies. A bases loaded walk time, and once again, not much offense.
Yeah, Phillies are 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position, so the offense was not able to capitalize early on in the ball game. So now Romero, 21st game for JC. He'll face Marcus Timms, a pinch hitter for the Dodgers. So Hawksworth goes 1 inning as he did last night. And let's see what Romero can do here in the 7th. Try to keep this in a 3-run ball game. Timms on the year hitting 158, and he takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Timms just off the disabled list yesterday for the Dodgers. To center field, that's pretty well hit. Victorino on the run, and he gets there to make the catch. Ball kind of took off. Timms looked like he swung at it with one arm. And there's one away.
Talk about D. Gordon, his first major league start. He was a pinch runner and scored a run last night. Here he starts off the game with a curveball that he slaps into left field, first major league hit. And then with a pitcher on at first base, hits a ball through the hole, does what you're supposed to do, try to pull the ball, and then uses great speed here. Chase Utley does all he could do. He beat it out and then stole second base. Would have been a close play. You don't know if the throw was not held on to by Valdez, the shortstop. So here's Gordon again with a real good night working.
And Romero works ahead. No balls and 1 strike. We watched him take BP yesterday, and you were talking about him looking from behind like Juan Pierre. And it's true. I mean, Pierre wore number 9 for the Dodgers, and you know he's obviously a little bulkier than D. Gordon, but their stance looked very similar. The way they swung the bat looked very similar,
and his helmet looks like it fits.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did remind me a little bit of Juan Pierre just watching him, and he needs to play the game the same way too, and use his speed.
Sarge was joking how before the ball game when he was talking to D. Gordon, we were saying how his pants don't even look like they fit, and Sarge said, "Well, they don't. They couldn't find a pair that fit him." And he's rung up for the second out. So the Phillies have finally retired him here tonight.
Ain't not a 1,000 hitter anymore.
Hey, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. And they are very excited about being the Citizens 7.
Everybody loves getting free stuff.
Casey Blake takes low. Two and 0 the count. I think JC thought that was a strike on the outside part of the plate. An off-speed pitch. Jeff Kellogg, the home plate umpire tonight. That's a strike. And ball 4, 2-out walk to Blake, which means that Ethier will get a chance to bat with a runner aboard. Hey, the Phillies Festival, which benefits the ALS Association of Philadelphia, is this Monday night. Autograph and photo booths are sold out, but tickets for the live and silent auctions are still available. Live auction items include unique experiences and memorabilia, including a Ruiz and Halladay autographed game-used baseball from the 2010 National League Division Series no-hitter. Call 215-463-1000 for more information, or you can always go to Phillies.com and go to the Phillies Festival section to get more information.
They both thought that was a strike. There's Roy Halladay. Carlos Ruiz started to throw the ball back, and he turned around to Kellogg like, huh?
Well, there's a strike.
Yeah. That's an easy one.
Yeah, Ethier had an RBI single back in the third. There's some of those young fans we were talking about. Look how happy he is. High fives for everyone. They've got him picked if Howard can make this throw, and he does. Oh boy, right on the money, right in the baseline. And Blake is caught stealing. 1-3-6, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, nobody left here in the 7th. It's time to stretch here in Philadelphia. Let's hope the Phils can stretch their legs, get a little offense rolling off this play by Howard to Wilson Valdez. pitcher did the Phillies draft in the first round ahead of second rounder Mike Schmidt, who was a shortstop at the time, in the '71 MLB amateur draft?
I wrote down a guy by the name of Roy Thomas.
Who helped you with that one?
Nobody.
Nobody helped you?
Because I knew him. We got to know Roy because he never pitched in the big leagues, but he was
with the Phillies, right?
Yeah, he was around a lot. He lived here in the off season. I can't remember
really?
what it was for the first year. It's my first year with the club. Really got to know him well, and but I don't know that he ever pitched in the major leagues.
I think he pitched for Seattle.
Did he? Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. But he never pitched for the Phillies in the major leagues.
Log back onto Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fan.
I'm insulted. What do you mean? Who helped you with that one? I wrote it down. There it is. No.
I thought maybe that would throw you a little bit of a curve.
Well, I asked you right away if it were a pitcher because I thought it was Roy Thomas.
Roy Thomas was 20-11 with a 3.82 ERA in his big league career. I think Seattle.
20-11 with Seattle, yeah.
Among other teams, but I think that was where he did most of his damage.
Now
Houston,
the question,
St. Louis, and
the
Seattle.
question would be when the Phillies moved him for the first time. The good question would be who did they get for him, and I have no idea.
We could find out.
Oh, we'll find out. Carl will find that out for us.
Matt Guerrier is the new pitcher for the Dodgers. It's 3-0 to Ross Glode. We're told that he was traded by the Phillies with Alan Bannister and Dick Ruthven to the White Sox for Mike Buskey and Jim Cott. Wow. Somewhere, if Kitty's watching, he's probably saying, I was part of that trade.
Yeah.
December of '75.
How about that? Well, I never would have remembered that one. I just remember Roy. His nickname was Roy Boy. That's what everybody called him, Roy Boy Thomas. And Phillies organization really rooted for him to make it. It never happened, but you know he went on to at least pitch for a while in the major leagues.
Well, the Phillies got a pretty good pitcher back in return, although they traded Dick Ruthven along with Roy Thomas. So Glode works out the leadoff walk here in the 7th. So back to the top of the order again. And Sarge has been saying this. It's a manageable game offensively for the Phillies, down by just 3 against, and Don Mattingly will know this, against one of the worst bullpens in the league.
Well, yeah, you have 3 more at bats at home, and you're only down by 3. It just seems worse because of the way it dragged through the first 3 innings and all the mistakes and missed opportunities the Phillies had.
Dodgers do have a lefty up and throwing.
Yeah, the only guy they have is Scott Elbert.
Right.
Good job by Ross Glode to get a walk there. There's Don Mattingly. What a major league hitter he was.
One and one the count to Victorino as he disgustedly takes a strike.
Notice they did not run for Ross Glode either.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Well, you know, I think they're going to pick their spots. If he were the tying run, but they're down by 3.
And they are one less player available because Jimmy Rollins, although he's better, Ruben Amaro said today that Jimmy Rollins could still go on the DL, but Jimmy thought that he was progressing better. He's still not available to run, as Michael Martinez, who is available, would be a candidate to pinch run.
Right. If it were a 1-run game, and maybe later.
2-1 pitch coming to Victorino. Fouls it away. 2-2.
We've seen Guerrero before from out of Denton, Texas, and fastball, curveball, slider, changeup.
Saw him with Twins.
Not in the Dodgers uniform yet.
A one hopper to second. Uribe easily to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. Put out goes 4-6, and there's 1 away. Polanco is 0 for 2. He walked in, drove in a run with that walk. Back of the second. That's the only run for the Phillies.
Well, that was back in that spot where they really had a chance to break it wide open against a young pitcher who couldn't throw it in the ocean at that point. And they didn't, and he settled down and pitched 2 pretty good innings before they took him out.
A strike at the knees to Polanco. There's De La Rosa. He's part of what Wheels is talking about. Missed opportunities the Phillies have had tonight. He walked 5, allowed 4 hits.
And he went far enough into the ball game that he is the pitcher of record should the Dodgers win this game and the Phillies don't at least tie it.
Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of late movement on that pitch, and it runs the count to 1-2.
Looks like a breaking ball of some kind. A cutter, maybe a slider.
Polanco serves it to right. Here comes Ethier, and he got there to make the catch. So 2 outs. Well, speaking of Andre Ethier, it's time now for our Home Depot defensive play of the game.
Here's a base hit to right field by Valdez. Raul Ibanez coming around third, and Ethier makes a perfect one-hop throw, a really easy throw for the catcher Navarro to handle, and Navarro was able to get set and sit right on top of home plate and block the plate, and that is our Home Depot defensive play of the game.
The Home Depot doing more on defense, and we're going to have a pitching change here in the 7th. Don Mattingly out to the mound. He's going to take the baseball from his right-hander. Scott Elbert will be the new pitcher for the Dodgers. He's the only lefty out of their pen, and the Phillies have some lefties due up. So with the Phillies down 4-1 and a runner at first here in the 2nd, or in the 7th, it's an AT&T call to the bullpen at Citizens Bank Park. The Dodgers, a lefty, the only lefty out of the pen. This is the 11th game. He hasn't been scored upon yet. Lefties are hitting just 143 against him. Chase Utley is due up for the Phillies. It's Chase Utley, Howard, and Ibanez. Lefties that are due up for the Phils. That's why they bring in their only lefty. And he may stay not only for however long the 7th takes, but even pitch the 8th to start. Victorino is over at first. Victorino stole second back in the first. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Counting the game before the off day, Chase has played in more than 5 in a row. And, you know, Charlie doesn't really count it because the off day on Thursday, but it came at the right time because he's been able to play him consistently.
Yeah, you could tell in that talking to him that he was thinking, you know, he's got to come to an end pretty soon. They want this guy for the whole year. And so far, so good is the way his health's holding up.
Well, and talking through what they'll do tomorrow, and they don't know yet, but the reason he's been playing so much is because he feels good, but also Jimmy Rollins' injury kind of hampers them as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. That's the possible double play combination for tomorrow.
Yep.
Utley hits it hard over the first base bag down the right field line. Victorino over the third. He might be waved home. He will be waved home. Utley's going to third, and he'll get there easily. An RBI triple, and the Phillies are within 2. Well, we said it was manageable. It certainly is.
Yeah, well, that woke everybody up. Yep. They have a 3-run lead to the Dodgers, so they're not going to guard the line here. They're just going to hold him on and jump out, and it goes right down the line. So Loney, who's as good as anybody with a glove, can't get back. That ball was scalded into the corner. Shane's going to score easily, and Chase wind up all the way at third base.
And Chase is safe and secure at third, safe and secure with New York Light.
They have a heck of a chance now to get to within 1 because they're. No, excuse me, there's 2 outs. That was a big 2-out hit.
And Howard takes low and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Howard struck out his last 2 times up. Receives 5 for his last 9 against lefties. He has not homered yet against a left-hander.
Right. Sooner or later, you figure he's going to pop him. But right now, they just like a base hit. Just if you can get this to 1 right now in the 7th inning, you got the crowd back in this game. The crowd's been sitting on their hands all night because nothing's happened for the Phillies. It was just ugly early on, and then they got shut down, and now here they come with 2 outs.
Slider for a strike. It's 2-1.
Book on Elbert is he's fastball slider. They have the right-hander up in the bullpen now. Still 1 more left-handed hitter to go.
Lindblom is the right-hander up and throwing.
A lot of different names in this bullpen, aren't there? For all those years of playing the Dodgers.
A line drive caught by Uribe. Wasn't hit hard, and Uribe in that shift was able to make the play, and the side is retired. The Phillies do get to within 2 on the RBI triple by Utley. We go to the 8th. of the Phillies by W.B. Mason. Who but W.B. Mason for amazingly low office product prices? By Citizens Bank, where for homes? Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer or visit ChevyDealer.com. Oh, beautiful night down in Center City. I mentioned that last night. Boy, the weather's been great the last couple of days. It's going to get hotter as the next couple of days come upon us, which means the ball might be jumping a little bit more out of the yard.
Oh, it's supposed to get Mugsville the next 2 days. Highs in the upper 90s, and it will be brutally hot here at the ballpark and in the city for the next couple of days. And that is absolutely hitting weather.
Michael Stutz is the new pitcher for the Phillies. A 1.84 earned run average. And he's got a tough part of the lineup to deal with. It's Ethier, Kemp, and Uribe.
Well, just try to keep it where it is. Still have 6 outs to go. And, you know, they don't have a shutdown guy in their bullpen right now. It's not like the old way of talking about Broxton. Phillies seemed to handle Broxton, though. But there were a time where Broxton was, even against the Phillies, they couldn't, you know, he would get you out.
Yeah, well, Carlos Ruiz, Jimmy Rollins, they have all had good numbers against Broxton, or good moments against Broxton.
Good moments, yeah. And nobody more than Matt Stairs.
2-0 now, the count to Ethier.
Broxton trying to rehab right now from some arm problems.
Just can't get control of that slider. They appeal the check swing by Ethier. It's 3-0. Michael Stutz remembers this time of year not only being drafted by the Phillies, but also the College World Series postseason with Oregon State, as that pitch is low to Ethier, and he's aboard to lead off the 8th. Tonight at Sports Night, get all the highlights from this ball game, plus more on the possible for sale sign on the Sixers, and the latest on Tiger Woods' status for next week's U.S. Open. Apparently he's not going to play. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night, presented by Toyota. Tonight at 10, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Tiger Woods not playing in a major. You know he's hurt. That guy lives for majors. Always wanted to catch Jack Nicklaus, and you know now it's getting tougher and tougher because he has so many physical problems, despite all the personal problems.
I know he was disappointed just from reading some of the comments, but
yeah.
I'll tell you what, the tournament director, and I forget the gentleman's name, they were really disappointed.
Sure. You know, the U.S. Open, still the U.S. Open,
right.
the greatest tournament of the year. For some people feel it's that way, but you know, Tiger Woods, he was one of those guys that just prepped for the 4 majors all year.
Towering fly ball deep to right field. Brown going back, and that one is gone. An opposite field home run for Matt Kemp, his 17th of the year, and it's now a 4-run lead. Boy, he waited a long time before he let loose on that one.
Remember, we talked last night that Davey Lopes was telling us that he's really doing a better job on breaking balls away, not pulling off. This looked like a slider that was up a little. Oh, it was a hanger in the middle of the plate. But you know, Matt Kemp at one time could have pulled off that and hit it off the end of the bat a little bit. But he knows it's out because he has tremendous power, and he knows the way the ball's going to carry in this ballpark.
Uribe fouls it back.
That hurt. Battle back like that, and you know, boom, boom, walk, home run, and you're down by 4 again, or 4 for the first time tonight.
Well, his numbers at Citizens Bank Park, that was his 2nd home run, but he's a 382 hitter here in the yard.
Well, that difference between hanging in there on a breaking ball and pulling off is what he just did. See, Uribe pulls off so much that, you know, he'll hit a lot of balls off the end of the bat where he just crushes the ball as if you throw him middle in. That was a slider. He pulled off it, and what did he do? He hit it off the end of the bat. Kemp stayed in there really well on that.
There's a slider. He backed off, and he's rung up. for the first out. Michael Stutz has not struggled much at all since being brought up from the minors. In fact, he's had some very big moments. And even though he's just a kid who doesn't have a whole lot of experience, you're still surprised when he gives up a home run like that. Over to first, backhanded by Howard. That ball was scorched. 2 outs.
You watched Deano Navarro last night and tonight. I think you want to throw him high pitches. He does have a tendency to swing at them.
1 for 3 in tonight's game with an RBI and a slider for strike 1. Roy Oswalt started. He went the first 6, allowed 4 runs on 8 hits. Then J.C. Romero pitched a scoreless 7th. And now Michael Stutz has allowed 2 runs here in the 8th. Grounder toward first, picked up by Howard, underhand to first, and the side is retired. But Matt Kemp has made this a 4-run ball game, a 2-run home run. So as we go to the bottom of the 8th, Phillies with a little more work to do to get back in this one. In favor of Los Angeles. Don't forget, next week the Phillies will take on the Florida Marlins in a 4-game series. That Wednesday the 15th, it's a split day-night doubleheader. 1:05 is the rescheduled game from the 16th of April. 7:05 is the originally scheduled game. Limited seats are available for both. Go to Phillies.com to make your purchase. And well, tonight the Braves have only 1 hit. It was a home run by Alex Gonzalez, and that's all they've needed. They lead the Marlins 1-0. That game's in the bottom of the 8th. Brad Hand for Florida. 6 innings, 1 hit to 1 run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, they're still trying to put somebody in Josh Johnson's spot. They started Brian Sanchez at last time out when they came up in that spot. He gave them 3 innings, and they wound up winning the game at Arizona that night.
Well, here in the 8th, the Phillies trail it by 4, and Raul Ibanez leads it off against Scott Elbert.
Still a right-hander up in the bullpen. You have left, right, left, but now it's a 4-run game.
Two and 1 the count to Ibanez, who has 1 hit in 3 official at-bats. There's the right-hander. Lindblom. All kinds of different names. The first guy that pitched tonight for the Dodgers was Ruby De La Rosa, and he spelled Ruby R-U-B-B-Y. This guy who's in the bullpen, Lindblom, there's only one O at the end, but it's pronounced Lindblom.
Like a flower.
Left side, and Gordon in shallow left will make the catch and takes care of Ibanez for out number 1. They'll stay with the lefty Elbert. As Wheels mentioned, Dominic Brown, another lefty, is in the on-deck circle. That ball is rocketed foul. And it's 0-2 to Ruiz. Yes, he says.
That was a good one. That was a good one to catch after someone else handed it to you. Oh, you had a little trouble with that ice cream, huh? Well, that looks good tonight, like that. Oh, look at that.
Not a great first impression, though. He had ice cream all over his face when he took the baseball from the ball girl.
Well, he'll grow into first impressions. Some never do.
A flare to shallow right. 2 outs. First 3 innings, the Phillies left 7 and scored just 1 run. Since that time, they've left only 1. And that was after Utley tripled. And that brought home Victorino, and it was in the 7th inning. So they had a lot of opportunities the first 3 innings of the game, didn't really capitalize, haven't had as many opportunities since that time.
Right. And they had a little juice last inning, and then the 2-run home run, the air went out of the balloon again.
Here's Dominic Brown. Scored the only other run tonight besides the Victorino run. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Charlie Manuel was asked today if Dominic Brown was an everyday player. He said maybe not yet, but he has started to play every day because the other team's throwing right-handers, although last night it was Ted Lilly, a left-hander, that was on the mound, and he stayed with him. Gave Ibanez the night off.
He's going to spot him against left-handed pitching.
I think a lot of it depends on who the lefty is.
Exactly. The guy last night was, Ted Lilly's a heck of a major league pitcher, but he's not nasty. Not the kind of guy who's going to make you pull off a lot if you're a left-handed hitter. This guy can make you pull off. Just watching it, the way he comes from the side with a hard breaking ball. Now, he does pitch on the third base side of the rubber. Well, no, I mean the first base side of the rubber, and that makes him come around you even a little bit more. Makes it more difficult to hang in there. Some left-handed hitters like to face left-handed pitchers because it thinks it makes them stay in there better. They'll keep their shoulder in a little bit more. They'll concentrate more. Others just flat out open up as soon as a guy moves at them.
Swing and a miss. And Brown is tagged out by Deanna Navarro. And the side is retired. I'm not sure if he thought that ball was caught or if it was in the dirt, but he was an easy target to finish off that strikeout. And the Phillies minor league players of the week were just announced. Jeff Larish was the player of the week in 6 games. Boy, how about that? 4 homers and 12 RBIs. He had 478. Trevor May is one of those young Phillies pitchers, and they have a number of them that are hopefully going to be pretty good. Well, Trevor May was really good for Clearwater. 12 strikeouts in 8 innings. So congratulations to those 2 guys. Jeff Larish has been in the big leagues before with the Detroit Tigers, and we saw him an awful lot during spring training. Lehigh Valley is in first place. And some young lady just made a heck of a catch on David Herndon's first pitch here at the top of the 9th.
Have a glove?
She had a glove and she used it.
Nice.
Inside. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Great
play. Got a thumbs up from the usher, making sure everybody was okay. I mean, that was a really good catch.
That phone's going to buzz like a beehive right now. Tremendous play. She brings her glove, reaches over.
She has her Jackie Robinson Breaking Barriers t-shirt on. And
I can't believe I caught it.
I don't know. She looked like she knew what she was doing when she grabbed it.
As someone who you see do things like that, you say they played.
And, you know, she had to reach over a ledge, which it's not safe to do that. But she was able to do it very comfortably.
And that's not a glove she just bought either. That baby's broken in.
Yep.
She's used that.
And a
nice
girl.
Catch.
Look at her friend next to her. Oh, wow. Over to third, Polanco.
I got a Fanatic doll, but you got a baseball. You're winning tonight.
One away here in the 9th. As she said, I could have caught it with my hat.
Did a terrific job of holding on to the railing, too, with the other hand when she reached over.
There's Tony Gwynn Jr., who will pinch hit for the Dodgers here at the top of the 9th.
That's one of the best catches of the year, as far as fans go.
Very smooth.
Another son of a major leaguer.
These 2 sons of major leaguers don't look anything like their dad. No. Body-wise.
Tom Gordon's kid looks like him
facially. Yeah. Well, Tony Gwynn Jr. there is a resemblance.
Yeah, but D. Gordon really looks like Flash.
Yeah, facially. And as Flash told us today, D runs like Flash.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Tom to say, well, why do you think they call me Flash?
Right. Nothing to do with that cartoon character.
Well, in all honesty, the nickname, they should have held on to it and just gave it to D.
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn tried to hold his swing, and he did, according to Mark Carlson. 3-1 the count. That'll be a tough play, even if Utley got to it. And Gwynn's aboard with 1 out.
That's one of those things, they talked about a little bit, maybe not diving for as many balls, especially a ball you have no chance to catch like that one. But, that's hard for Chase Utley not to do because that's the way he's played for so long. But, I remember during spring training they had a story that he and Ryan Sandberg talked about that. Sandberg was such a good second baseman. But there's times to save your body. And there's times to give it up.
It might have been even in that same story, or maybe it was a couple days later where he talked about not knowing any other way to play.
Right. That's what I mean. That it may not happen, but if there's ever a ball that you don't dive for and save your body a little bit, it was that one.
There goes Gwynn. Chopper toward third. Polanco makes the play to first. Gwynn's going to third. The throw by Howard and the tag. He's out. Wilson Valdez made the spin and sealed the body off and then applied the tag, and the side is retired. Gwynn took a chance. You're not supposed to make the first or third out over third, and Wilson Valdez made sure it was the third out. Here at the bottom of the ninth, here's that last play. Polanco makes the play over at first. You see Tony Gwynn Jr. top of your screen heading to third. Wilson Valdez is there as well. Look at that spin, and then he sealed Gwynn off with his leg. Tell you what, that is a smart, heads-up athletic play by Wilson Valdez. He can't get his hand to the bag. Look at Wilson Valdez has basically sealed it off and then applies the tag. David Herndon with his reaction. That was a really good play. So Valdez will lead it off as Tony Gwynn Jr. stays in the game to play left. So the outfield is Gwynn in left, Kemp in center, Ethier over in right. And Javi Guerra is the new pitcher for the Dodgers. Wheels mentioned before, they don't really have a bona fide closer with Jonathan Broxton on the disabled list, among others. I mean, there are others like Hong-Chi Kuo on the disabled list as well. So they're kind of piecing it together.
Vicente Padilla was doing some closing for them, but he got hurt.
There's Ruby De La Rosa, 3 outs, and he gets his first major league victory at his first major league start. Or I should say his first victory as a starter. He already has a win this year. And D. Gordon, well, he's provided a spark for the Dodgers tonight as they lead it 6-2. So it'll be Valdez, then the pitcher's spot, and Jimmy Rollins is out in the on-deck circle for the Phillies. Huh.
Good sign.
Guess he is feeling better. He said he was. Might have to amend that double play combination for tomorrow. Valdez 2 for 3. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Javi Guerra saved 16 games in single A back in 2009. Closed 24 games in his minor league career before this season. And he throws a strike.
And he's in with a comfortable margin right now. He has a 4-run lead. It's not even a save situation, let alone a 1-run game or a 2-run game.
Dodgers 22-2, even with the makeshift bullpen when leading after 8. Two and 2. Over to second, Uribe charges aggressively, 1 out. So here comes Jimmy Rollins. his numbers as a pinch hitter.
Anything down and in, don't swing at it. Last thing you need to do is beat a ball over his leg right now.
I wondered if he'd wear any kind of protection on that knee. Outward, inward, just to make sure.
It says he wears these knee pads now, and that Kenny Lofton got him doing it when Lofton was here to protect your knees on head first slide. And he said that helped him the other night. When that ball hit off his knee, then it could have been worse.
Think about it. It could have been a lot worse if he didn't have a little protection there. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike to Rollins. Phillies down by 4, need base runners. I guess that's an understatement here in the 9th. Andre Ethier was fooled on where that ball was initially, but he was able to make the catch. Second out here in the 9th. And De La Rosa is 1 out away from picking up his 2nd win of the year and his 1st win as a starting pitcher. Victorino has been on base 3 times tonight, twice with a fielder's choice, has scored 1 of the 2 runs. Want to know the count. Make it 2-0. Fly ball, shallow center field. Matt Kemp ambling in, makes the catch. A 1-2-3 9th inning, and the Dodgers have evened up this series as they win it by a final of 6-2. Well, a couple of guys who are getting their first real opportunities in the big leagues this year. Ruby De La Rosa and D. Gordon. They contributed to a Dodgers victory. For Gordon, the Chevrolet player of the game, 3 for 5, a run scored and a stolen base. And he helps De La Rosa to his 2nd major league victory, his 1st as a starting pitcher, as he worked an erratic 5 innings, but still managed to leave with the lead. And one of the veterans contributed as well, Wheels, and that was Matt Kemp.
Matt Kemp having a heck of a year. Really hitting right-handed pitching a lot better. He stays in much better, they say, on the breaking ball, even though that was a little bit of a hanger. So he didn't give any ground and smoked it the other way for a 2-run home run. The Phillies had gotten back to within 2, but then a walk and a 2-run home run, and that was going to be the ball game, and that is our WB Mason delivery of the game.
So the Dodgers win it by a final score of 6-2. They take game 2. We'll be back to talk more about it right after this.